Hey, Barrett Edelstein here, your celeb expert and your celeb savant. Celeb Savant is a weekly entertainment show. We have long-form career retrospective type interviews with celebrities, singers, actors, and industry experts. Rozalla Miller, better known simply as Rozalla, is a Zimbabwean electronic music performer who was born in what was then Northern Rhodesia, now Zambia. At the age of 18, she moved with her parents to her father's country of origin, Zimbabwe. She is best known for her three 1991-1992 hit singles, Faith in the Power of Love, Are You Ready to Fly, and in particular, Everybody's Free to Feel Good, which has been remixed and reissued several times. In December 2016, Billboard magazine ranked her as the 98th most successful dance artist of all time. Rozalla continues to release new successful projects with a new album coming out in 2024 and tours the world over with sold-out shows. Up next on Celeb Savant, we've got Rozalla. Where do we find you in the world and how are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Nice to meet you, Barrett. And I live in the UK.
So now let's rewind to all the very beginning. So at what age did you decide, cool, I want to be in the entertainment world, and how did that journey progress to where we are today?
Well, I was born in Zambia, and all my life from childhood, I knew I wanted to be a singer. So from very, very young. And my first children's television program was in Zambia. I think I must have been about 10 or 11 where I sang on TV. And also that was my first taste of what it was like being in front of a camera, filming me and all these lights. And I just knew, Barrett, this is what I want.
And then how did that progress from there?
Well, so my parents were very supportive, particularly at the time. My dad was supportive, and later on, my mom came on board. Then we moved to Zimbabwe,
yep.
And there was a guy who became a very good friend of mine that started this band, and he heard I liked singing. And, cut a long story short, we formed this band and started doing cover songs that we were hearing on the radio. Zambia and Zimbabwe are still very influenced by Western music. So that's what we did, and that's what we copied. And we went around the country, performing these songs at clubs, at parties, at whatever.
Am I correct in saying that you were the first Zimbabwean to hit the Billboard and UK charts?
I think so. I mean, I can't be 100% sure, but,
yeah.
Finding out from my own view, I think probably you could be right.
And when you hit the charts in those countries, was it a surprise or was it part of the goal and the intention?
It was the goal. It was the intention because, from Zimbabwe, when I was going around with the band, we called ourselves Grab. I joined a talent contest because I figured, I can't keep doing other people's songs. I want to record something that's under my own name. And fortunately, those talent contests, I won them all. And the prize was a recording contract with a local record company in Zimbabwe. So, when I look back, Barrett, I think in life, when you put out something and you imagine it, you get there or you get to as close as you possibly can. And it was my life's ambition, and still is, to be a singer and earn a living from it. And so I started recording material in Zimbabwe through this record company. And then I'd gotten to as high as I possibly could in Zimbabwe. And then I thought, right, I want to be an international singer. Because, that's the only way I can really, really earn a living, hopefully, from it and make a name for myself. And there was a British producer that happened to be in Zimbabwe that was friends with a good DJ friend of mine in Zimbabwe. And cut a long story short, they introduced us, and then that opened doors for me to come to the UK.
So you've had top 10 hits with a number of songs. Are you still releasing new music?
Absolutely. I've got a new album coming out. We've got the release date. I just got it about a couple of weeks ago. It's coming out on the 24th of February. The title of the album is called Turn on the Light, which features that track as well. And the plan is to release a new single from it a week before the album is released on the 24th of February. So I'm really, really excited about that.
From 0 to 3 to 4 minutes, your creative process in creating a song, what is that process? Is it easy every time? What motivates it? Let's dive into your creative brain.
It varies because sometimes, a lot of the time I'm sent tracks that have been written for me or songs that I think can be good for me. Gary Simmons, who runs the label I'm on, has sent me cover songs that maybe have been done in the 50s or the 60s or the 70s, and which we did for this coming album. There's a few tracks from there that are from years and years ago. And he's thought, that's really up your street. We could sort of do it up and make it more modern and to fit in with the songs that you got on the album. My husband has also chosen a few tracks. Turn on the Light, which is the album title for my new album. I co-wrote that with 2 songwriters, and that was a wonderful process. I remember we were in the studio and the pianist was just playing songs. He had a musical instrumentation to this track, and he's like, "What do you think?" And I thought, I love that music. Why don't we just make up a story? And my husband said, why don't you make Turn on the Light a semi-biographical song? So if you listen to Turn on the Light, I'm talking about my life, how it started and where I am today and how tough the music industry is. But when I go out there, the lights are turned on and the fans are still, happy to see me. So, listen to the words of that song. And so I'm very proud that I, co-wrote that song with my 2 other songwriting friends.
And what keeps you motivated to keep releasing music?
I absolutely love it. I love singing. I love going out there and performing. Fortunately, when I go out there and perform, the majority of my shows that I do, Barrett, the audience reaction is so phenomenal. And I can't begin to tell you how encouraging that is to me. It just keeps planting that seed of encouragement. And I think they still want me. And then, of course, I get given work to go and do gigs, festivals, etc. One of the reasons I'm coming to South Africa is to do shows. And that to me speaks volumes that, Rozalla is still wanted. And I'm thinking, well, as long as I'm loving it, I've got my health and I want to keep doing it, why not?
So I've got a point of discussion around this. So I'm normally standing right in front at the shows, and I take my phone out to take 1 or 2 pictures, 1 or 2 videos, and I put my phone away. And I notice the people around me have their phones out a lot of the time, trying to get the perfect pictures, videos, tweeting, whatever they're doing. From the persons on the stage seeing a bunch of phones, do you think that disconnects from the energy, or do you just think it's where society is?
Oh my gosh. Personally, I love it. For me, that is like a thumbs up. They on my side. They're taking pictures of me. And at the end of the day, I'm just another human being, just like anyone in that audience. And they are taking my picture and making me feel like a goddess. I'm like, what? Wow. I'll have some of that. I'll even do a pose for you.
You mentioned that thing that you are just a human being. And a lot of the fans perceive that artists are separate from them or up higher than them, so to speak. What is your perception of that, and how do you deal with that?
Honestly, when I'm on that stage and I'm getting this audience reaction and they're looking at me like, wow, Barrett, it's something that will never be lost on me. I know where I'm coming from. I know that I've dreamt of this, and I'm getting this adulation, which is will forever be surreal in my world, because I'm thinking, I'm on that stage or on that floor watching an artist and thinking, my gosh, wow, but it's a two-way street. They're giving me this applause and I'm singing for the fans, and it's a one-on-one thing to me. I'm so grateful.
So back in the day, we had CDs, cassettes, and vinyls. They are making a massive comeback. I'm very grateful. I love me a CD. I love the pictures. I love the aesthetic of holding something. For me, it's a thank you to you guys for all the hard work that you do. We've also got these streaming platforms that people consume music on. What is your perception of each? I
absolutely love that CDs are coming back. I know there's also albums that are coming back. Personally, the pictures are bigger, the writing is bigger, and it's wonderful to hold something in your hands.
Yeah.
And I love that. Personally, I really love that. Being able to stream your music, there's obviously a place for that. Absolutely. Spotify just released how many streams I had this year so far, and it was about 7 or 8 million. And in that, I had new streams of over 1 million people. And I think, wow, is that made up numbers? I mean, and that's phenomenal. But sadly, that doesn't cross over into sales.
Yeah.
And I think, what's wrong here? But that's another conversation.
Exactly. So the basic point of it is that you guys need to be paid correctly and more.
Absolutely. That's, we're not getting any younger. Fortunately, I'm at the stage in my life where I'm still healthy. I still love doing what I'm doing, going out performing. But when you have album sales that can look after you years later in life, that's your pension. And if you've been streamed 40 million times and getting 20 rand or 20 pounds for it, you can't survive on that. So there'll come a time when the artists aren't able to go out and do live work, and not all of them want to go out and do live work. They have stage fright or God knows what, but they all do something. And that's from their songwriting, their material that they put out there. The fans are supportive as in buying it. And then you get these streams, which the one thing about the streams I think is good is that it raises awareness that this artist has got music out. But then what about earning a living from it? There's nothing there.
And what's interesting is that the fans don't realize that you guys are getting low paid. I speak to a lot of people and I tell them this and they're like shocked and surprised.
Yeah, it is. It's shocking. I mean, I heard an interview with, forget the singer, James. I'm sorry, I forget his name, but he was saying he sold about, he had about 20 million streams and he got like £5,000
It's ridiculous.
for 20 million streams. Now, I don't understand that. I mean, this is just another something else to me. It is frustrating as an artist, because I go out there, I'm performing. I love what I do, fortunately. The travel can be quite intensive, but I look at it all as an opportunity. I look at it all as a mini holiday. Coming to South Africa is just blowing my mind to have this opportunity to perform there and, get paid for it. But one day I won't be able to do that. So I'm still going to have my music streamed. Great. People will hear of me, but I won't earn a living from that. I won't earn royalties from that. So what happens then?
Well, hopefully by then it will be a better system.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so, Barrett. Otherwise, we'll be right back on this podcast discussing that next level.
It's interesting. I discuss it with all the people I interview, and everyone has different perceptions around it. A lot of people think that it now allows them to get the music to different parts of the world where it wouldn't have before, but yet they agree that they should be paid what they're supposed to be paid.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why I said earlier, there's a positive to it in that your music is heard in so many more countries via Spotify.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. It raises a platform positively in some ways. But I think in one of the most important ways is, we all got to earn a living to live, to keep a roof over our heads, put food on the table. That is vital.
It's interesting you mentioned about performing live, and a lot of the fans think that you guys have such a glamorous life. But I know you guys work hard. It's on the plane, off the plane, sound check, perform, on the plane, off the plane. Does that ever get tiresome for you?
It can do. I did quite a few dates where I was booked for some festivals in Denmark, in the Scandinavian territories, which, again, I'm just full of gratitude to continually get in work at this stage in my life, in my career. I was flying out every single weekend, nonstop, for about 3 months, and I loved it. Fortunately, I live about 20 minutes from Gatwick Airport, or 45 minutes from Heathrow. So Friday, I'm flying out. Sunday, I'm coming back. Friday, I'm flying out. And that was happening. I'm going, oh, this is great. This is great. Get to Copenhagen. I'm staying at the airport hotel, going to do my gig, do another gig, and fly back to the UK. And that was going on for, 3 months. And I'm thinking, that's great. I got the work, because also the thing with this industry that I'm in, it's very fickle.
Yes.
It's a very fickle industry. And I went through some ups and downs where I was lucky if I even got one gig in a period of 2 months. And then it's all come back because this back to the 90s, I love the 90s, had been revived. So, it's saying make hay when the sun shines. You grab it, And I began to feel after the towards the end of this 3 months of flying out every single weekend, and sometimes during the weekdays I'd fly out by Wednesday, Thursday, my body started feeling I just want to chill, because it's getting into the car, getting into the airport, getting your luggage checked, going through being checked and taken out. That whole thing is like, oh my gosh, here we go again. The way I look at it, I think, you know what? It's not like I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. I'd like to do it for as long as I possibly can.
Yeah.
So that's what kept me going, is that it's an opportunity. What would you rather do? Not do this at all, or just do the best that you can whilst you're doing it? But it does get tiring.
So when you were having those down times or those bad times, how did you pick yourself up and keep going?
I just look at it as, like I said earlier, Barrett, I look at it as an opportunity. I mean, I think, will I be doing this in 10 years' time? Will I be doing this in 15 years' time? Hopefully, but I don't think so. I don't know. Who knows where we are in the next hour from now?
Exactly.
We always hope for the best. But the fact is, I am 60 years old next year, by the grace of God. In 10 to 15 years' time, will I be doing this? I don't know. I hope so. But you just got to pace yourself, I suppose. Yep. That goes with anything in life, I suppose.
Exactly, totally. So I know if I had to ask this question in 2 hours, 2 minutes, 2 years, I know your answer will be different, because there are millions of them, and I understand that. But if you had to push play to 5 songs by other artists, once we finish this conversation, what would those 5 songs be and by whom?
Oh my goodness, the first one that just sprung to mind was a Whitney Houston. It's okay. Na, 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 na.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna make it anyway. I don't know. That just came just now. Oh my goodness. And Luther Vandross, it's so amazing.
Yeah.
It's so amazing to be loved. Oh my. So that leaves me with 3, right?
Yeah.
Hugh Masekela, I did a cover of one of his songs. Oh my goodness. Don't go lose it, baby.
Yes.
That one. Yeah. So that's 3. Right. 2 more. Oh my goodness. I guess one of mine, Everybody's Free to Feel Good.
Of course, yes.
And Baby Come Back. You can take it all on me. Yeah. I say that one because, well, you're going to have to buy my album next year.
Okay, cool. So,
yeah.
So for the listeners, Rozalla is going to be in South Africa in January of 2024, performing at the 100% Retro Festival. So Rozalla, tell us a little bit more about this.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, Barrett, I'm so excited. I'll be performing with a lot of the guys that are on this tour. We do so many gigs together and have done over the years that we've become friends. There's Dr. Alban, there's Hadaway, there's Ray from 2 Unlimited, there's Daisy D from Technotronic, there's 24/7. And we have been doing all these gigs I've been telling you about this year and over the years, and we've become good friends. And, we up each other and we go, you know what, guys, here we are, 30 years later, still doing our thing. And most of our other artist friends maybe didn't have, hit singles as big as ours back in the 90s, or maybe they don't want to perform and they're not getting any work as much as we are. So we just go, thank you, God. And that's what I mean about, even if we're traveling week in and week in and week out, it's an opportunity, because it won't be here forever.
Exactly.
So we just think, you know what, just grab it and let's do our best and enjoy it, even through tired eyes and tired bones, and getting off that plane and feeling, oh, I just want to sleep. And then you go out and perform and the audience are just on your side, and it just makes it all worthwhile.
As a final message to the listening audience, what would you like to say?
I would like to say I thank you all so much for your support over the years. I look forward to meeting some of you out there. I hope you'll come to the gigs in Cape Town and Pretoria. And look out for my new album next year, guys. It's all for you.